Hello everyone, today is 2025 July 15th. So let's start this week Middle East economic weekly observation. First look at the macro from the UAE. So Dubai International Airport is ranked number one busiest international airport in the world, and following it is London, Incheon, Korea, and Singapore, Amsterdam, Paris, Istanbul, Frankfurt, Hong Kong, and Doha. Hey, there's no Atlantis here, right? That should be here. Um, in the last week, there's one cricket academy in Dubai shuts down abruptly, and parents demand refunds, and coaches left unpaid. So, in China there's a lot of small barber shop and also some gym. Because the economy is going down and all these shops they closed suddenly and left customers deposit unrefunded. So it is happening here in Dubai as well, and in the future when the economy getting slower, so there's more phenomenon is gonna be happen. So it's an indicator of the overall economy. So we need to have a look about this. Let's look at the Abu Dhabi economy expanded by 3.4% year on year in the first quarter of 2025. Um, it's released by the Statistics Center from Abu Dhabi. In the last week, there's a figure about China's GDP growth is 5.3% in the first half. So it's also amazing. It's too good to be true. Okay, so uh, Ross, in the last week, it's Ras Al Khaimah economic zone that caused 43 surge in the new company registrations in the first half of 2025. So the total number is could be it's a total is 8,500 companies. The in the last year is five almost 6,000. So it's increased almost a 40% increase. It's remarkable. And also here, there's let's look at the Minasa. So Saudi Arabia sees 51% surge in blockchain business registration by Q2. So Saudi Arabia, they welcomed the blockchain very much. There are two reasons. One reason is the hope of blockchain as the economic growth driver, and also the second thing is blockchain is highly integrated with the gaming, and the Saudi they like game very much. So that's why the Saudi they have a huge increase in blockchain companies registration. Saudi Arabia to boost renewable energy with 8 billion investment. It's through the ACWA. It's I think Saudi National Power Company. They will to use the $8.3 billion to build 15 gigawatts solar and wind farms in the kingdom, accelerate its push into renewables. So currently, in the last week, I also talk about many Saudis. Saudi is developing is planning to sell its oil powered plant oil power plant. So they want to change that oil power plant to get rid of from that old asset to embrace the new source of the energy. So the kingdom had about 4.3 gigawatts of solar capacity at the end of 2024. So they will in the 10 years they want to have up to 130 gigawatt of solar and wind capacity by the end of decade. So there's a huge market. So in the Saudi about the solar and the wind farm. Mm. So Modi lifts Oman to investment grade, citing stronger data metrics. So it's increased Oman's long-term issuer and senior unsecured rating to BA3 from BA1 on Thursday. So expecting the continuous improvement in debt ratios and resilience to low oil price. So Oman don't have much oil, so Oman is quite similar to diverse economy, similar to the Dubai, to the UAE, even Saudi. Saudi also they want to be more diverse. So Oman's here we can see that the situation is getting a little better. And BYD plans major Saudi expansion following Tesla's market entry. Um, I think in the early in the last year, in the last few 2 years, maybe in the last year, so Tesla, or maybe this year, Tesla entered the Saudi market, and BYD plans to expand as well to 10 locations by the late 2026. Okay, let's look at the East Asia and the Middle East. So there's a global trend, autonomous vehicle trials across the world. So United States is the most advanced, and following is China, Singapore, Japan, UK, and South Korea. So they all develop their own autonomous transport technology. And Dubai is getting such technology to imply it on the market. So before the end of this year, we will see the autonomous uh, driving taxi on the Dubai street. So we will see. Um, China's consumer inflation up 0.1% in June. The good thing. So finally, there's no more how to say no more deflation. There's back to the inflation trend. Here we can see the China's cars industry profit margin at a record low. Currently is almost 4% about the net profit margin. Back to 6-7 years ago is 8% on the net profit margin. So it's decreased a lot. It cannot be the price war cannot be carried on any further. Dubai Chambers and China Machinery Industry Federation, they strengthened the cooperation. So in the last week, they had a roundtable in Beijing to strengthen the bilateral cooperation. They want to attract companies specialized in advanced technologies to the Dubai, so to contribute to the Dubai Economic Agenda D33. And in the last week, China Development Bank they have a bond listing in the Nasdaq Dubai. So I think this is the third bond, Chinese bond listing in Dubai. So in the before we have seen the there are two more banks I forgot they are listing the bond in Dubai, including the ICBC and also including the Agricultural Bank I think. Okay, so Bank of Korea freeze key rate. So earlier this year, Bank of Korea has reduced 25 basis points, but in the recently it has been held its key rate steady at 2.5%. South Korea's economy in the first half of this year is very good, no matter its stocks or its price in gold and also I think the crypto as well. All many assets in the South Korea is maybe in the bubble phase, so they have some ongoing pressure to support the economic growth. So they have to be more conservative in using their monetary policy. Okay, let's look at the global. In the last week, the Bloomberg they have published the research regarding the U.S. billionaires. They have dramatically outpaced the market since 2020, since the pandemic. We have seen there's almost 100 difference uh, between the rich portfolio and normal ordinary portfolio. This is amazing, and they have Bloomberg has summarized that there's three wisdoms about the wealthiest. First is conviction, second is access, the third is discipline. Conviction, they bet big, they have independent thinking, and they have deep experience. Access, they have network effects, they have information quality, they have capital influence, and discipline, they have long-term investment horizon, the deep research process, downside protection, and public security. So this is the popular index constitutes among the U.S. billionaires, including the Walmart, the Alphabet, Tesla, Apollo Global Management, Berkshire Hathaway, and Blackstone, Carvana, Meta Platform, Stryker Corporation, and Amazon. So here we can see the Sharpe ratio for the US billionaires. They almost double the Sharpe ratio of the large, middle, and small cap index. So yeah, we need to like learn from them, right? So yeah, we have to learn the wisdom. We have to especially look at the specific assets. We need to have this assets as well, maybe. And also we need to, before we have Pelosi's portfolio, and maybe today is Trump's portfolio, I don't know. But we need to like respect and carefully study their portfolio and to learn from them. Here's Japan's car makers slash export price to US to offset the tariff hit. Here we can see it's almost since the tariff is almost 20% decrease the price. So here is mentioned 19.4% from the year earlier on a contract currency basis. And US stock hit a record high. But start from this year, US the performance is lag behind the emerging markets performance. No matter it's including China or not. Since the tariff, China has been performed very well, and before I think we have talked about that the US performance and China's performance is almost always on the opposite. So one side perform very well, the other side is suffering. When the other side is suffering, when the other side perform well, then the other side is suffering. So this is this history has proven this how to say this trend, such a pattern, and early start from earlier this year. So many funds, I believe that many funds they have retreated from the U.S. market. Here you can see the dollar also depreciate a lot. So they got such money, some easy money to put that into the emerging markets, and this outperformance from the emerging markets is supposed to be sustained for some longer term, I believe, in the coming 1 or 2 years. I think so. Here is also mentioned the Brazil, the Taiwan, Brazil, South Korea, and here's South Africa. The performance is also very good. Saudi Arabia is not performing very well because I talk about this. Saudi Arabia they are in the GDP, they are in the economy. Technically, they are in the recession. So I think I talked about this about 2 years ago. They are in the recession. So we see that finally reflect on the market performance. And for the other two companies, like here's Taiwan and India, they perform okay. They got a 10% increase start from this year. The others is 30% increase. And here's mentioned a small mining company won a big investment from the Pentagon. This small company is dealing the rare earth. And I think 2 weeks ago I talked about Japan. They also develop the rare earth technology. Japan they will seek to try to find some rare earths in the deep sea. And for the US, they have rare earths in their deposit, in their land reserve. So now they're going to do is just to process this rare earths. Previously, all this rare earths was shipped to China for the processing, but now they will process in the domestically, I believe. For the oil in the last week, it's stabilized. Not much change. And for the company performance in the last week, Dubai increased 1.4%, Abu Dhabi increased 0.7%. So you can see, no matter it's 1 week, 1 month, 3 months, or year till today, so Dubai is always double the performance of the Abu Dhabi exchange. In the last week, the DIC they increased 8.2%, and the ENBD increased almost 4%. So you can see the no matter it's the top weekly mover or the low the lowest weekly mover. So many of them, like since of this year, they have increased 10%, 20%, 30%, even 80% here, 100% here. So increase a lot. Mm. So overall, the market here we can see it is still is very solid and it's very good. And I have read in in my recent article, in the near future, the overall situation is still very good. So here is Abu Dhabi Port Group and the Kazakhstan Railway commence operations of GolfLink joint venture. Here is GolfLink is 51% owned by Abu Dhabi Port Group and 49% by Kazakhstan Express. They will transform the Central Asia's logistical landscape. So Abu Dhabi here is mentioned. They have built a presence in Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, and Georgia, I think. So previously we have talked about the Abu Dhabi Group. They have very good presence in the North Africa, in the West Asia countries, and in the Middle East as well. So it's a very good, it's a big company. Like we need to, it's similar like Hutchinson Whampoa. So we need to have a look at in the future. So we need to take care of, and we need to like to see it. Mm. Dubai Financial Market listed Amlak gives shareholder go ahead to sell real estate finance portfolio. Its accumulated loss finally they are under control. Um, so currently is the other peak of the real estate asset. So they undertake such a transaction. And interesting that the drug and screw shares heavily traded on DFM after real estate pivot. So this is a construction company, and they announced that they will start doing the real estate business, and the price increased a little, not much, but it's pretty good for them. Here we can see is a company like back to 10 years ago, its share price is 5 dirham. Currently, it's dropped to 0.3%, 0.3 dirham. So this is a typical Middle East company. It's a heavy operation, and it don't have much monopoly power. So this is how it looks like. It will not perform very well. Let's look at the Dubai UAE property. So Dubai real estate transaction jumped 23% in the first half of this year as market enters the stabilization phase. Dubai real estate price climbed in first half as Villa surged 11% and ROI hits 11% in the key communities. Here Dubai Villa sales up jump 65% in the first half of this year. Oh, like I have mentioned before, for the villa, they have um, like 2 years ago, villa is the same price with the apartment, but currently, villa has a price gap with the apartment because villa you can see villa occupy the land, so land is value is for the apartment you can only share a very little piece of land, but for villa you can share a huge piece of land. So this is the difference. So villa has more land value. So previously it was ignored by people, but currently people realize that. And also in the current time, in the current phase, there's many apartment supply on the market, but the villa supply is limited. Okay, let's look at the crypto. So Dubai, the Emirates Airline, Dubai Duty Free, and the Dubai Land Department, they are accepting the crypto payment through the crypto.com platform. So we'll see in the future, like the crypto.com is the payment is going to be very convenient for the people. And the AI revolution in quant trading um, is here as well. Okay, so this is all for the last week. Hope you enjoyed. See you next week. Bye bye.